In this video I'm going to talk about the background options in Elements. Now this is an important part of the entire page builder because this feature is used in many elements, and it's awesome to know to use it and what it does. So I've basically haven't explained in those elements what this feature does, and I'm going to talk about this um, into this video. So I think we can start with the custom subheader element because it's used on almost 90% of the pages, and it's a cool feature to use. So we can go to the features, theme styles, sorry, no, custom subheaders, and yeah, custom subheaders and background image. And you will see here that this subheader is using a background image with a colored overlay, actually a gradient color overlay, and a nice mask right here. So I'm just going to edit this page with a page builder, or better yet, I'm going to create a new page because I want to start from scratch. I'm just going to leave this page and background options in Elements. I'm going to publish this page, enable the page builder, and edit this actual page with the page builder. Great, so now I will search for the custom subheader. I'm going to add it. Just simply hide the header because I want to gain access to the full option bar right here, which unfortunately I cannot always reach to it. So okay, so I'm just going to get to the background and styles options. If you want info for these options here, just look for the page builder elements and custom subheader. Great, so I'm going to start with the header style. Now the thing is with this, let me just publish and refresh this page. Great, so yeah, I just increased the height and let me just center it to the middle so I can have a better view of the, and I will do something more here. I'm going to add a section so I can have a bit of separation from the footer, and actually increase the spacing here. I will just, yeah, I know I should have just gone to the point. I think it's 5 minutes already and still talking about other things. Great, so let me get back to the options right here. So first we have the header style. As you can see here, we have a list of styles, and these styles are saved into the alias options. Let me just go into the backend, into the dashboard, alias options, and unlimited subheaders. And here you can add as many styles as you want. I already explained how this part of the alias options works. You can search for it under the name of unlimited subheaders into the alias options. So I'm just going to skip this one and focus on the actual background sources options. So like I said, this comes from the first generation of alias, and we had to maintain it. Of course, we cannot just drop options, so it's here, but it's not that useful to use it. I mean, you can just use what's next right here. So you have the background source type. You can choose whether, of course, you want a background, and if you do, you can choose an image. And I'm going to choose an image right here. I'm going to say, I don't know, let's just choose a simple stupid image, because not stupid, but just a simple image, not necessarily stretched or wide or fit for this block. I'm just going to save it as it is. Now this is ugly, of course, like I said. Didn't want to offend the image and call it stupid, but this is how it would look like if I just add the image. So I will have to tweak to to make it look better. First, I have to select if I want the background to repeat. I will say no repeat, unless you, of course, you choose to have a pattern or something to repeat itself, either on X coordinate or Y coordinate vertically. But for the moment, I'm just going to choose no repeat. Then we can choose the background attachment. You can choose scroll by default or fixed, and the image will stay fixed into this block. And we have the X and Y background positions. Now it depends on you, or if you for example, if you don't have a fit image for this block, as you can see, this part is ignored and only this part is shown, starting from 0 here, left 0, top 0. So you can change this by setting center and center. Now by this it actually means the background will start from, I think, this point around here. Now for the sake of this video, I'm just going to say top. And we have this this is a very important option, because you can select the size of the background, and if you choose cover, you will see immediately what happens. The image is basically stretched onto the whole block, and no part of the how should I say it, no part of the element is not covered with a portion of the image. So for example, if I choose contain, this will only make the image to have a display to fit the image inside here and show every pixel it has and fit itself into the element. So I'm just going to change this image and add something more nice to the page. Let me just quickly search for one. I'm going to say this one. Great. So I'm going to change back to cover. I'm a big fan of cover background size, because it's kind of the new kid on the block that resizes backgrounds for responsive devices, which is pretty cool, because you can on each resolution the image will be shown. So as you can see here, nothing much is displayed, only the top of the sky of the image. So I'm going to change back to center, or even bottom. Great. So we have the city here with more details. And now, you know what, sorry for this, I'm just going to change it to center to be to have more colors. Great. So moving on, I'm going to explain about the background colored overlay. As you can see here in this list, we can have a normal color, which we can actually make it fully opaque, so basically only the color will be shown, the image will not. but it's an overlay mostly, so just use it to darken the image, especially if you have I don't know, a light text, and to create a contrast between them. It's great to darken the, or even lighten if you have a dark text, and light the image. So this is the simple normal color. We have a horizontal gradient. I'm going to choose some different colors here. Let me do this, and let me also, this is the second color which appeared when I selected the horizontal gradient. I'm going to also make this 35, and I'm going to save it. As you can see, it's a gradient here. It kind of changes the feel of the image, so you can play with these colors as you will find the perfect combination for your images. So we also have a vertical gradient. As you can see, now the gradient starts from the brown red-ish color, orange actually I think, and to the blue. This is warm, this is colder. Good. So now we have an image background with an overlay, with a gradient overlay. Good. So this last option is actually a nice one. I love these bottom masks. These will add something here. I'm saying something because they're all different. I'm going to start with a shadow up. I'm not sure if it's gonna be visible. There's a shadow, a discrete shadow right here, kind of like a separator. Then we have we have the shadow up and down. As you can see, there's a shadow here and one here too. Then we have these two. I'm going to skip them because there are some old masks that were used in the previous versions. We have better alternatives now. So we have the vector mask 3. As you can see, this nice bump right here with an arrow, and you can have it align off the sides of the element. Let me just select left, for example, and should be exactly here. I think it's cool. It looks good. And then we have the vector mask 4. These are vector masks, meaning they're retina ready, and they're this background right here will fit the body's background, and they're dynamically changing. Again, for this mask also you can specify whether you want it to the left or right. And then you have the vector mask 5, which is this one is a bit more amazing, more attractive and appealing. And if you're wondering why this red color, well, this is the main color of the theme, so if you change it, this will also change too. So the last vector mask is the vector mask 6. As you can see, this is one more, I don't know, futuristic, different. It also looks good. And in case you want more vector masks, at some point I thought that I added too many, but if you think that others should be added, just ask, and I'm sure we can find other designs to add here. Great. So now moving back to the background source type, like I said, we also have some other sources like self-hosted video. And as you can see here, as soon as I changed the type of the background source, some other fields have appeared here. So I'm just going to browse for the now let me just explain one thing. If you don't know what these or why you should add three sources, well, that's because we have too many browsers, and each one supports another, and unfortunately there's no common ground for all of them, especially for older browsers. uh, I could say that right now there's great support for MP4. Let me just search on Google on can I use how was it called? How can I have MP4 video? And can I use website will show you the browser usage. So as you can see, it's almost all of them are supported, only Opera Mini, but the browser usage is very small, so you can take a risk right there. And also this one is for the smartphones, and I will get into this, but not for the moment. Yeah, moving back, as you can see, you can only provide the MP4, but to make sure that, for example, OGV is only compatible with older versions of Firefox, and this basically covers the old browsers. So let's first add the images. Like I said, I prefer to simply use MP4. I like taking risks and choose to follow the standard and the feature, because if we get stuck into all this, all of them are loaded, the performance drops, a lot of coding, a lot of fallbacks, and my target audience always uses latest browsers, so I don't know, I just prepare for my audience. So it depends on you which audience you have. So you can also choose the OGV. I'm choosing a video. Unfortunately there's no way to preview them, but I'm sure you will know how to add a video and use it. So now I'm also going to choose a poster for this. Let me just go all the way to the bottom where yeah, this is the working space poster, especially for this is basically the first frame from the video. Great. Now as you can see here, using this option you can add your desired video poster that will be shown on unsupported devices. Now by unsupported devices means that this video background unfortunately won't work on your smartphone, and I know this sucks, but because smartphones are built in a way that they have to make sure you don't consume any precious performance and bandwidth. They have to take over the for example, in our context, the videos, and they have to add their own controls, and they have to stop them by default. So basically this because this is a background. I mean, this serves like a background, not like a video player. If you want a video player, just add one here, and on smartphone it will look good because it's a video player. But in this case it's a background. it's used as a background. So basically, um, because they're behind, the background video is behind. For example, iOS will take over and stop the video and add some custom video controls, and it's a pain. Trust me, it's a pain to try at least to develop for smartphones when you're kind of restricted. I mean, let's say for example you have a video here of 50 megabytes. Yeah, there are cases that this happens. So you have a video of 50 megabytes, and a user access this page from his smartphone, and he's traveling or in the city and doesn't have wireless enabled, and he's accessing this page. Well, as you can see, from the start, the the video will consume almost all his 3G 4G plan, and a lot of his bandwidth will be consumed. So this is not quite okay for smartphones, but mostly for the desktops or even tablets, but it's basically the same thing because they also have both Android and iOS or Windows phone. So I'm sorry really, because I get a lot of questions about this. Why doesn't the video work into the background? And I keep telling this story because unfortunately it's too big of a pain. So moving forward with the options for the video, you can autoplay the video by default. Sorry, by when the page is loading, you can loop the video, meaning that when the video finishes it will run back to the start. You can start mute with the audio. I mean, you wouldn't want to scare any of your users. And then we have the video controls. Now this feature is cool to use. It's useful in some cases, especially if you have an audio enabled video. Now for example, in my case I don't have it, but let me just position the video controls and make this one. Yeah, I want to make this a bit more bigger, and I'm going to the video controls. I'm just going to say middle right. So as you can see, we have the controls here. They're aligned on the right. In some elements it might not work properly, and that's because there's a lot of things happening here. If it does not work, just let us know. We'll try to figure out a solution. But for the moment, this is the simple player controls, and like I said, I gave more importance to this button right here, which mutes or makes the video with sound. And now going back to the options, well, that's about it. This was the last options, the last option dedicated to this video part. Basically you can move the controls in every corner you want, and you can, like I explained earlier, you have this overlay, background colored overlay. Yeah, so this is just a source change. And finally you can simply change the source to a YouTube video, and you have to specify YouTube ID. Now, as you can see, this is the just the ID of the video. The video poster is still here, and also the other settings right here. Let me just pause this video and find the proper video ID. So I just found the video right here. Let me reduce the sound of it. It's a song that I recently heard and I like, and I'm just going to copy this part right here. Let me just pause it, and I will just copy the part right here, right after the V equal this. So I'm just going to paste this right here, and let me just save it. As you can see, the video started and it's there in the background. I can play or pause, and I can also toggle the sound. So that's about it with these background settings. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. If you have feature requests, ideas, and so on, again, feel free to share. And if you have any troubles with this part, just subscribe to our support forums, and my colleagues will guide you and assist you. And one other thing that I wanted to say, you will find these settings in many elements. I think I already said that, so yeah, it's okay. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.